On May 6, 2025, an F-18F Super Hornet, belonging to Squadron VFA-1 and known as the Red Rippers, was making its final approach for landing. The flight crew was well versed in this procedure, having executed it countless times in various conditions, including nighttime operations, rough seas, and even combat scenarios. However, on this occasion, the expected sequence of events was abruptly disrupted by a sharp, cracking sound. The jet touched down with precision, achieving the correct angle of attack, deploying its tail hook, and aligning perfectly with the runway centerline. Yet, instead of the anticipated forceful deceleration caused by the arresting cable engaging the hook, there was an unexpected absence of resistance, followed by a chaotic moment. A distinct metallic snap echoed through the air, immediately succeeded by the unmistakable and alarming sound of the jet's engines at full afterburner as the pilot attempted to regain altitude. It was too late to avert disaster. The Super Hornet continued forward, ultimately plunging over the carrier's edge. There was no possibility of a bolter or a second attempt to land. The aircraft was irretrievably lost. For a brief instant, it appeared that the flight crew might also be lost. However, the ejection seats were activated and parachutes deployed just above the water. The Super Hornet sank into the dark depths, while rescue helicopters quickly arrived on the scene. Within minutes, both pilots were recovered from the sea, alive but with injuries. This dramatic rescue leaves us with critical questions. Was this crash isolated? What failed to stop it? And, crucially, what is the Pentagon thinking about the implications for the Navy's broader capabilities and reliability? 12 days earlier, another Super Hornet had slipped from the Truman's deck, not in flight, but during a frantic evasive turn to dodge Houthi fire. One sailor injured, one jet lost. This incident highlights the dangerous environment in which the Truman was operating. The Houthis, a militant group based in Yemen, have demonstrated a capability and willingness to launch attacks in the Red Sea, posing a significant threat to naval vessels. These attacks can necessitate sudden, evasive maneuvers, which, as demonstrated in this case, can lead to accidents. Now, with 2 aircraft gone in less than 2 weeks, the Navy wasn't just facing bad luck, it was staring down a pattern. At the Pentagon, alarms blared. The losses weren't just about jets, they were about trust. Could the Navy still deliver relentless, flawless power? Or was the weight of war cracking the very backbone of its might? After May 6th, all eyes locked onto the arresting gear, the carrier's beating heart. 4 steel cables, each no thicker than a wrist, stretched taut across the Truman's deck. These cross-deck pendants were the last thread between a perfect landing and disaster, tied to hydraulic systems that could halt a 35,000-pound jet at 150 miles per hour in less time than it takes to blink. When it worked, it was ballet. When it failed, carnage. The system was designed to absorb the jet's kinetic energy and bring a 150-mile-per-hour aircraft to a complete stop in under 2 seconds. When it functions correctly, it is described as poetry, or art in motion. When it fails, it is pure chaos. This is what made the incident so perplexing. Naval aviation is governed by an intricate web of procedures and redundancies. Every landing is meticulously planned, briefed, and executed according to strict checklists. The arresting gear itself undergoes frequent and rigorous inspections. Multiple backup systems are in place to mitigate potential failures. It was, therefore, difficult to reconcile the catastrophic failure with the system's inherent safeguards. The investigation revealed the ugly truth. The cable hadn't snapped. It had rotted from the inside out. Metal fatigue, over-tensioning, maybe a missed inspection. Whatever the cause, the result was the same. A single compromised strand in a system built for perfection had sent a $70 million warplane into the drink. Yes, there were redundancies, backup cables, checklists thicker than Bibles. But like a parachute, the system only had to fail once. And when it did, there were no second chances. Just the sickening realization that the Navy's entire safety net hung by 4 steel threads baking in the Red Sea sun. Yet the cables were just the beginning. The Truman wasn't just a ship. It was a pressure cooker. Pilots flying on 3 hours sleep. Deck crews working triple shifts in 120-degree heat. Maintenance teams eyeballing cables through sweat-stung eyes. Checklists got skipped. Frayed wires got missed. The ship itself was coming apart. Steel warping, electronics frying, hydraulics groaning under the strain. At the Pentagon, the alarms weren't just about lost jets. They were about broken trust. If the Navy's crown jewels couldn't survive the Red Sea, what did that say about the rest of the fleet? The headlines wrote themselves, "Can America's Navy still fight?" The focus shifted to the arresting gear system after the May 6th incident. On aircraft carriers, this system is critical. It's a matter of life or death for landing aircraft. It consists of 4 steel arresting cables, or cross-deck pendants, and a hydraulic system, the Mk7 Mod 3, designed to stop a 150-mile-per-hour jet in under 2 seconds. A successful landing is like poetry, but a failure is chaos. While not common, the May 6th failure wasn't unprecedented. Often, a cable problem, hook misalignment, or tensioning issue leaves the pilot no time for a bolter, a second landing attempt. The investigation revealed that the cable failed due to internal fracturing, with potential factors including metal fatigue, over-tensioning, and inadequate maintenance. This highlighted how a single weak point in the system can jeopardize a multi-million-dollar aircraft and the crew's lives. While this mechanical explanation was concerning enough, the implications of these incidents resonated far beyond the immediate technical failures, prompting serious alarm at the Pentagon. The implications reverberated beyond naval operations. Within the Pentagon's corridors of power, these events ignited fierce debates about resource allocation, operational doctrine, and the very sustainability of the Navy's current deployment model. Questions arose about whether the relentless pace of operations was pushing the fleet beyond its limits, and whether the focus on immediate mission demands was compromising long-term maintenance and safety. The loss of 2 advanced aircraft was not just a financial blow, but a strategic setback, potentially emboldening adversaries and undermining America's image of naval dominance.